Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Scratch and Jack, your host for the Amazing Scale Modelers Sunday Hangout. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus community of scale modelers of all shapes and sizes, interests, genres, and skill levels who like to share their tips and tricks with one another, learn more about their craft, and to celebrate one another's scale modeling achievements. Amazing Scale Modelers is perhaps the fastest growing or the largest existent on Google Plus communities. It is a scale modeling community that of all genres. Seriously, we can do wood, paper, plastic, and think of the medium, and we can our members do it. And currently, we have a membership roll of 2,204, an uptick of 2 members since yesterday during Across the Pond Hangout. I'd like to just make a couple of announcements. Right now, we're running a community build. That would be a diorama. You can take your existing model that you've already done and put it into a setting, or just build it fresh and new with a new model. But the only thing is, it has to be a diorama. It could be even a placard with a few things on it. It doesn't even have to be that fancy. And second, we're going to have our 4th annual Hangout starting in just 4 or 5 days, something like that.
4 days. Five, yeah.
On Black Friday, that will be 8 a.m. Eastern. So you do the math as far as your time zone is concerned. We're looking for volunteers, particularly for the other side of the world with Australia, all day, if you want to be on all day. We'll try to string it together so that everybody in the community can visit and say hello and talk scale modeling, because they may or may not be able to make the so that's coming up. And also, if you're watching the community, there's a couple of other things that are going on. So go to the Google Plus community page, Amazing Scale Modelers. I'd like to welcome our scale modelers who showed up today to talk about scale models, about their scale models. I'm going to start from my Google left to right. How you doing, Bob?
You always start with me. I'm just fine.
Yeah, because it's fine. Okay, I'll start with someone else if that's okay.
All right.
No, go ahead.
I'm fine. Off on a rare Sunday night. Normally I don't.
You don't?
Come in on Sundays because I'm at work.
Yeah. Well, we missed you yesterday, but it's good to see that you're somewhat awake right now.
Yeah. Somewhat.
What is it you're working on?
I am working on my cancer awareness build. I'm actually working on the core support right at the moment to get it into the chassis.
I make a diorama out of it and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Here's the body. '68 Firebird.
Ooh,
400
that looks
ram
good.
air.
That looks good. Shiny.
Done in
I
electron
can't
blue.
get my bodies to look like that.
Been painted, wet sanded, ready to be polished, ready for a clear coat as soon as I get all the photo etch on it.
It looks like it's already clear coated.
Nope, not yet.
Got there.
And then working on the chassis. I got the engine
Got it.
in, and I'm working on the core support for the radiator. And then this kind of got thrown on the back burner, but I worked on it a little bit yesterday. Rescue saver for Heath. Got all the major details on it now. I think left are the stencils, and I haven't decided if they're worth the effort to put on there or not.
Right.
And I haven't decided if I'm going wheels up or wheels down yet, so I'm kind of in a holding pattern on that one. And that's about all I'm working on right now.
Does that saber get 2.5-inch rockets or?
The saber?
Yeah.
The saber. The only 2 options I had were drop tanks or the bombs. It's in John Glenn's Korean War.
Oh, all right. Okay, I get you.
The Mad Mig what was it, Mad Big Marine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mad Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's set up to hunt MiGs.
Mm-hmm. Often when people do what these groups on Google Plus, when they're doing a cancer build, it's often pink, Pepto-Bismol pink to be exact. Why is your blue?
Blue is one of the colors in prostate cancer.
There you go.
My dad died from last year.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad.
And so it's going to be the blue with the blue with white interior, or probably white and black interior.
Mm-hmm. White and black interior.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Oh, boy, everybody froze. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, everybody froze. It's really discerning when everybody's not moving.
Your picture's
Okay, just spit
gone.
out. There we are. Just spit out.
Picture's back.
Uh,
I did the one I did last year was the same. The Ford Del Rio. I just used a different blue on that one last year.
Cool.
Yeah, very few people actually do a pink one. Most of them
Yeah, that's who I wanted to do. Dirk last year did an Enterprise
pink, yeah.
in pink.
Still not finished.
He's not finished, or you're not finished?
No, he's still not finished with it.
Yeah, he's never going to be finished. I just put out an invitation to him just in case he's watching. Excellent, excellent. Okay, I'm still trying to bring up the chat. So if you are watching, I can just bring up the chat, and I'll just see who's hanging out there. In the meantime, how you doing, David?
Good, Jack. How you doing today? How are you doing today?
Look at this. Okay, stop. There we go.
There you go.
Just repeating myself here. Okay, go ahead.
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Oh, thanks.
Well, I haven't gotten a whole lot done on my little project. I've been busy with work and getting ready for Thanksgiving, and had to fix a couple laptops for a couple people, so I didn't get a chance to play on my little project. So
no playing on your projects though. Okay.
Yeah, but but I'll be off for 4 days for Thanksgiving, so I'll get some stuff done. So
4 days, so that would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Then I expect you to drop into the 48-hour hangout at some point. Being in California.
Don't worry, I will.
Well, that's what's happening to me right now. Don't want to say that I want to get in a pissing contest, but I got the whole damn week off.
Nice.
Yeah. And I also had Friday off too, which I'll talk about it when it's my turn. But yeah, it's nice to have all those days strung together, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a first for me in about 20 years, I think. So yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I've never had that Thanksgiving that many days off in a row. So yeah.
Well, I was in retail for like, oh hell, not quite 25 years, but definitely over 20 years. And the day, Friday, Black Friday, I always had worked, and that was a pain in the ass. Gotta come to think of it. But it's actually quite nice having a government job, because I did all these little holidays off too. I got I observed a Veterans Day in my hobby room, so that's what I did.
Nice. Good for you.
That's what I did. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. So we'll talk to you later then. Maybe see what you're going to be doing during the 48-hour hangout. It's actually quite interesting. Is that when we're hanging out, we're building models and we're talking about everything under the sun, and I think we probably spent 1 or 2% of the time talking modeling, but we do talk a lot.
Well, that's why they call it a hangout, right?
Yeah, that's why they call it a hangout. So how you doing, Jay?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing, Mr. Holzer?
I am doing very well. Thank you for asking.
I have
Very well. I'm getting things done.
I can't get the bottom thing to come up and say, you know, company and everything. So I'll just stand like this for a while and take care of it that way. But
who made those for you?
I did.
Oh.
I did. I got a silk screening. I got a couple of silk screening kits at real good prices, and took me about 2 tries to coat the screens and get everything right, and then just started working really, really well. So, so I've been making my own, and I've got to make some smaller ones now because Deanne and Jessica both want one. So,
thank goodness. I thought when you said smaller ones, I thought there was going to be an addition to the family.
Oh God, no. No. Don't do that. I have been working on models. One of the things I've been doing is I got a bunch of just small parts and put them onto a card and made a mold of it. Made a mold of that so that I can just cast a whole bunch of small little parts of different, you know, greebly bits that I can start using on models to just detail them up and things like that for scratch building. I got the kit for the Defiant is finished. I am starting, as in I've done all the molding and everything, and I am now putting together 15 kits. And once those kits are together and in boxes, I will offer them for sale. But
Nice.
I've also been working on a couple of other things. This is a Douglas Skyrocket, and I think it's a Revell kit. And I don't know if you're familiar with an old TV show, Captain Midnight, but when it was put into syndication, it was called Jet Jackson because they couldn't get permission to use the what was it? They couldn't use the Captain Midnight character, so they just recorded over it. But anyway, they used one of these as as Captain Midnight's plane, the Silver Dart. So that's what I'm making this into. It's going to require some special decals that I'll have to make, you know, like red, white, and blue in places and such like that. But right now I'm just at the stage where I'm trying to find all the little dents and bumps and things like that and get them out. And I find that depending on the model, sometimes the glossy shows up those little things better, and sometimes flat paint shows it up better. And I've also been cleaning this little bugger. I just kind of had it sitting aside, which is why the tip way out here on the nose broke off. I've got to replace that. This is the Dragonfly from Johnny Quest.
Yep.
And the engine actually does light up and flicker. So that's why I've got the wires hanging off of here. So I'm going to be mounting that onto a thing. But it got really dusty and messy, and so I've been cleaning it. And I've been using just cheap, window cleaner because it works. This bottle is $1, and it also has a special thing about it that makes it really valuable. Sometimes I get the urge to jump up and take off all my clothes and start running around. But if I drink some of this, I don't do it because it prevents streaking. Yeah. So. I'm done.
Gosh, oh my.
What's even funnier yet is Mike's reaction to these sorts of things. Which, incidentally, it was your lead-in. So go ahead, start talking.
Some people's mothers were scared by a pun. Oh, gee. Oh, golly gee whiz. I had shown other people while I was working on this that I had a scratch. And the scratch went up over the top of this area here. And I filled it with this stuff.
Mr. Surfacer, yeah.
Mr. Surface.
Yeah. And then I kept working on it until it wouldn't catch my fingernail anymore. And
Jack?
now I've got most. This is the idea. That was all covered. This area here was all covered with the surface, and now I got it down and feathered out, and you can't even hardly tell I did it. And I did it without messing up the door seam. And then I have 5 or 6 bodies of different types that I just got done re-washing after a sink pipe broke and that dripped stuff down into, got on my models. And drain pipe. And it came down through the ceiling. And that stuff, the ceiling stuff's hard to get off. So, but I've been using the last thing I just used on it was my anti-streak, and more. I don't know what the more is.
I should buy stock in the company.
Anyway, and I highly recommend this Brunenberg root beer from Australia. Other than the funny lid that they have on them, which sometimes requires pliers to get off. It's some pretty good stuff. Also, their ginger beer. Now, the ginger beer is extremely powerful and strong flavored. So be aware that it's tough stuff. But
that it's tough stuff.
It's pretty good, this Australian stuff. The Aussies, they're not all bad.
He's not here.
Yeah.
Invited Heath. Yeah. Let's see. I can get him invited again. And in the meantime,
no, it's all right.
Hey, Mike.
There's also Keith. Boy, what's with the E's? Keith is also a pretty cool dude. He just on a hangout. I think it was last night. He moved to Queensland. You know, Americans would say Queensland. In Australia, it's Queensland, and he was showing all the air conditioning units on the side of his house, because after all, it gets about 40, maybe 42 degrees, and that's not Fahrenheit, that is Celsius. So if you know what Celsius, 42 degrees is awful hot. That's almost halfway to boiling water. So one who would know this is our resident Irishman for tonight. That's Randall. How you doing?
Oh, me? Yeah.
He calls himself but he's also British, Irish, British. You pick. He's that person.
He's actually his own package.
So how are you doing today?
Not too bad. Still toiling away at this Whitley, and Mike, while you're there, I have to thank you. Your suggestion last time we were talking, I had been putting this window in, and I was successful on that side, but on the other side, it fell out or fell in or disappeared in some way or other. And Mike suggested that I put in the frame with a bit of stretch sprue, and then when it's all sanded flush, fill it in with micro crystal clear, which, yep, excellent.
Yeah, I saw your posting, and thank you for the credit.
You're welcome. I've been wrestling with photo etch for the last couple of days, and for me, that is a wrestling match.
Yep.
Getting things like this little radio set put together. And you can see it there. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And various other bits and pieces of detailing, getting extra bits and pieces added on the inside of the cockpit here, things like that. 90% of which will disappear as soon as I close up the fuselage.
Yeah.
But we'll know.
I'll know it's there.
How's the seat coming?
The seat is coming along quite nicely. I have it painted up. Oh, hang on. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I just have to add the photo etch seat harness to it, which will be fun in itself. Then once that's done, I'll just weather it, touch up any paintwork that needs done, mount the instrument panel, which I have sitting here. I've been applying.
The instrument panels can make or break a model airplane. Yeah, because the eye is drawn to when you don't have a pilot, it's drawn to what else is there is the instrument panel.
Well, I think the positioning of this instrument panel will be so deep in underneath the cowling that actually if the eye is drawn to it, good luck to him. But let's see.
Oh yeah.
The lighting's bad here. Sorry. Can you see that?
Tilt it there. There.
Yeah.
Showing up quite well.
Yeah.
So if you can see that after it's mounted, it'll be pretty good. But that's pretty much the progress I've made on that so far. I also bought and built a model today. It took me all of about 15 minutes to actually build it. It took me longer to actually write about it than to build it. And it is Poe Dameron's X-Wing from the Force Awakens. It's the Revell kit. Or I shouldn't really call it a kit. It's actually more of a toy than anything else, but it's got some nice detail on it, and so if I maybe disassemble it and leather it up again, but it's got some
Sound effects.
Oh, you got the build-in play, okay.
The only thing is there's no lights in the engines, and in fact those exhausts look a bit constipated.
Constipated, meaning that the nozzles are pretty thick. They're not quite as well. Yeah, it looks like modifications are in order, huh?
Yeah, a bit of drilling out here and there, a bit of weathering, what have you. It could look pretty decent. It's oddly proportioned, but I think that's probably because we're used to the X-Wings from the original 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
A fun thing to do for an afternoon.
Was it you that were saying this afternoon, or was it Jim, that the new X-Wings look like the Ralph McCreary
Yeah, they look more like
from way back?
They do look a lot more like the McQuarrie drawings.
When you have the wings parted like that,
Mm-hmm.
you have these sort of half round intakes like the original Ralph McQuarrie paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite interesting. What I find funny is if you can just about see inside there, you have fan blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they rotate the rest of the way?
Yes. Yes.
They're oscillating.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what Bob's got going on over there.
Back and forth.
Do you have fan blades too?
Sorry, Jack?
Maybe they're just louvers, not fan blades, but louvers.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, like a buzz bomb.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look more like veins in here than actual fan blade.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Compared to the,
it's still amusing to call them fan blades.
The slots for the sound box.
compared to the old one.
And it has
More streamlined nose.
one retracting undercarriage. The nose skids retract, but the
Main gear.
Okay.
main gear just plugs in. It doesn't even plug into the undersides of the engine housing like the original X-Wings. They just seem to be stuck on the outside of the wings.
Uh-huh.
And if you have it in the flying position, it must be a BB-8 that's doing the flying, because there ain't no pilot.
You don't need no stinking pilots.
Well, they must be Uber X-Wings. So.
Well, that's why you have the R2 unit in behind.
Yep.
I say that because in our fair city, Uber is developing a driverless car.
Yes, I need that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's be nice to tell a car to go somewhere, and next thing you know, you're in a handbasket, not knowing where exactly you're going. So
Yeah, I don't trust robots.
When I was commuting about 70 miles a day, I got it done with one of those. Just could have got an extra hour sleep.
Yeah.
right.
Yep, that's pretty much me for tonight. That's all I've been working on.
With that, I was sharing. Bob was holding up a few things too. I was sharing what he had what's going on there.
That's just the bigger version.
Let's get over there.
Oh yeah.
Over there.
Mine came out of pilot too. I had to dig through the parts box to find one, and then it's got a longer, more streamlined nose than the old X-Wing, the original X-Wing did.
Yeah, it does come to a sharper point.
Well, that's sort of like the cars of the 70s had hoods that went on for miles, and hoods these days, they're like short as all get-go. My mom had to buy a new car. She went from an Oldsmobile Sierra to a Hyundai Elantra, I believe. She's like, I don't like this car because you can't see the front of the car. And I says, well, in your line sight, if the car in front of you has a bumper equal to your windshield wiper, you should be stopped. They'll leave it up, but I can't see the hood. Oh, it is what it is.
Actually, there is something else I've been kind of working on too. It's like a postscript to the wee Enterprise that I done last month, and it is this.
Yes.
I already have the Enterprise built.
Which incidentally is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. but I added the Botany Bay here. Or I will add it actually once I where did I go? Oh, sure. Google Plus U are so much fun these days.
Yeah. Would that be
Anyway,
it though, Randall?
That's the kit there. That's the basic. There you go.
Oh yes. That's 4 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6. And then you've got the band coming off of the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this bit here clicks onto the pole that the Enterprise stands on.
Oh.
Not many parts. I think there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 parts altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, some nice detail on it. That's not too bad. What's this? There we are. That's the assembled article.
Mm.
I would just like to give a shout out there to Perrin Greenaway from, I think he's from Western Australia. Hi, Perrin. Thanks for the thumbs up. And yeah, I expect you to show up on the 48-hour hangout like you did last year. So if you're watching, that's what I expect you to do. Anyway, it's always nice to expect things from people. They always come through for you. Anyway, I have some screen shares myself, something that I posted on the, and this is something, oh boy, this is like visiting an old friend. Of course, what happened there?
Parents from Queensland.
Getting a lot of old friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of old friends there.
I think Google is messing with
I switched the screen when I screen shared it, so this should be fine. Yes, this is one of the wings to the bird of prey, Klingon bird of prey. And what's an old friend about this is that it is wiring, it is LEDs, it is fiber optics, all the above. And I have to say, both of them were a success. What I find interesting is that one is a little brighter than the other. I'm okay with that. At least I think on the other wing is the same thing. The inner one is brighter than the outer one. And this is the inner one brighter than the outer one. I think it just turned out that way. I didn't plan it. But I think it looks fine. I like it. So this is the only lighting that's going to be on the wing itself. And talking to Jim, he's like, Jack, you haven't done a sci-fi model forever. And he's right. Come to think of it, it's been a while. And I don't remember exactly what the last one was, but there were quite a few. And none of them were the Enterprise because I have a bad reputation with those kits.
How much blood have you invested in your kits?
Oh, well, I probably have spent as much as $200, $300 on Enterprise kits, and I don't have anything to show for it.
No, I said blood.
Blood? Well, that was back in the day when I was stabbing Jack, not scratching Jack. So. But no, one of these days I'll get to one, and this will be my third Klingon ship. I did the Vorcha lighted. I did the D7 from the motion picture lighted. I've done a lot of them Klingon ships. I seem to be having very good success with them. So we'll see. And if you go to the community too, I also posted pictures of a torpedo launch tube too that I accidentally threw away. So from my friends tell me I did an okay job. So that's what's been happening with me, other than the new digs. I was looking at past Hangouts, critiquing my presence, which you shouldn't really critique yourself. That's not fun. But seeing as to what we were talking about, how the show is evolving and what kinds of things we just need to do more of. And I realized that wall behind me was boring as all get-go. Oh, well, the only thing is that the wall in that direction is covered in shelves. So it's a little dark, but they're giving you an idea. There are shelves up there. There are shelves all the way down and up. And you see the patch where the old screen was. And I always had to push my Archinect lamps away when I was doing a broadcast show. So I moved it over, did some shelving. It's a work in progress. I'm going to have nice displays behind me in time. So that's another project I've been working on. So it's actually quite nice when you go to the doctor, they figure out what's wrong with you, and you start taking good drugs. It helps.
I'm a big fan of good drugs.
Well, this particular drug doesn't make me feel high or anything, but it certainly gives me a lot of energy. A little too much, maybe. But yeah, well, maybe if I go to California, I can have a doobie. Anyway, I don't. Yeah, Dave knows about that.
You have to go all the way to California. You go to Colorado.
I know what you voted. You didn't just vote yes. You said, "Oh yeah." That's what you voted. Not just yes. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I haven't experienced. Maybe I'll tie one on for the 48-hour hang on and see how my modeling goes.
This is what I did. This is what I did for the bird of prey.
I see.
Guns. I scratch built most of it because I didn't like the way they looked. So.
Not so bad.
They're
not so bad. I'm not gonna. There it is.
Yeah, and got the fiber optic coming up and out, and
oh wow, there you go.
Yeah, that's nicer. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a possibility of doing a fiber optic on this.
Yeah, maybe they did something. This is a very old version of that kit. That I've got. I don't know if they modified it at all or what, but I just really did not like the detail that was on it. So I got to finish this. That's my biggest problem: is starting kits and not finishing them.
Well, that's Dirk's job.
Not finishing? Okay.
A few of those myself.
This is what I did with the torpedo tube. If it's focusing, I don't know.
There we are. Nope.
Ah, yes. Much different from mine. Yes.
Well, no, I just used the archive photos and just tried to recreate that as best I could. It's not 100% accurate, but it looks better than what the kit came with, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad kit, but it certainly can be improved, and it's got a lot of ways, a lot of space to do that, which is nice. So anyway, I'm not trying to take your glory. I like what you're doing.
Oh well, no. I mean, I just puked, and that's what happened. I just want to do something, a little scratch building. But hey, you know what? Yours looks nice, but for about 30 minutes of work, I think I did okay.
Oh, you did great. It's beautiful. I'm serious. I like what you've got there.
Looks good, Jack. Looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And maybe I can let's immortalize this of the community and stuff. I was incorrect. I thought Perrin was in Western Australia, and that's like saying I'm from the South, from my understanding. He's from Queensland. Again, Queensland. Not Queensland. Queensland. That's such a hard one to, I don't know, my ears. Anyway, here's the screen share that I'm going to do for the tube. There's just some thin pieces of thin white styrene on top of a sprue.
That's going to look fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because in fact, see the problem is with me, I think, is that I get too detailed on something. You know, I get so wanting to make it look as close as the original, and in a lot of ways that's impossible. And I like what you do is because yours looks great, and you know, I think when mine is finished, if we put them next to each other, there would not be that much obvious difference. You know, maybe in little tiny details, but so what? You know.
Right. Well, that's what I like about this, because there was a little part of the sprue that made a little leg here.
Yeah.
Probably maybe an access tunnel, and here on the side, a little chunk of styrene here for whatever, to make it look like it's got some purpose. If I had to do it again, I'd probably get a thinner sprue from another kit. I think it comes off as a little too thick, but this is going to be part of a diorama.
Yeah.
And this is going to be close to a simulated water.
Oh, okay.
It's the scene. You know the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're
gonna put the boat in it, or?
Yes, I am going to definitely scratch build the boat.
That's very cool.
Here it is. I think it was Christina who did this. Yeah. I believe
Christina did that, and I think she completely scratch built the boat. It was great.
Yeah, this is the diorama I want to do. The kit, the wings in this is a little further up than these wings are going to be, and I was discussing with Jim and Randall about possibly modifying the kit so that I can do that. It is possible to do, but my concern is the stability of the wings. If I were to modify it, I would have to use an awful lot of epoxy for that, to epoxy putty.
Yeah,
I'm thinking even to stabilize it further, because I'd be cutting the body that is attached to. I'll be cutting big holes in it so that the wings aren't very flexible, but I can probably fudge it and get it done. But first, I'm going to see how it would look, because if you look closely, where did I go? Here. Can you see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So there's a separate piece. This is like a half moon that goes back along the back of the. It almost looks like a, I don't know, how would you say, a comma and profile, but it's like dome-like. And as you notice that the hinge part matches. So I think the only part that moves is this part goes into this rounded part. Now, if I were to cut a hole, and the big hole, and slide everything up a little higher, then this dome part will appear bigger, or should we say go over that part of the hinge. So I'm not sure I'm too fond. Now I'm looking at it closer. I'm not too fond of that idea. Maybe keeping it as it is and just calling it a day. After all, I'm just trying to work. I'm working with what I can. There is a kit out there in LMN online. There's an aftermarket kit, the hinge that is actually functional.
Yeah, have the wing
parts.
Newer version of this kit, you can build the wings any three of the three ways.
Flight modes
or attack mode.
Mode is down. Landing mode is all the way up, and then flight mode is just to the side.
Just straight out, yeah, or a little bit up. Because what it does on the newer kit.
Yeah, I do have the newer kit.
These are two separate.
Yeah, I do
pieces.
have the newer. Yeah, I do have the newer kit. Maybe I should have done that. Hey, it's not too late. I really didn't do much of this one.
On the original, it's all one piece.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we'll
separate pieces. You could.
Now, this is the kinds of things modelers have to encounter. And And well, you've got Mike with his Scratch, and he does a lot of modifications. And Dirk Pitt, one of the moderators of the Amazing Skill Modelers, he's doing rat rods, and I think he's doing a lot of modifications. He doesn't post enough for me to really figure it out, but I think he is.
Yeah, he is doing a rat rod. He's basically almost scratch building it. Starting with a Ford Del Rio station wagon.
Right. Okay. So I am right. Okay.
You am right.
Yes, it's nice to be right every now and again. Yeah, going back to the community, let's see what we can share here. Yes, our friend Ken Skiffington. I haven't seen Ken in a while.
Neither have I.
I wonder if he's watching. He modified a boy. I don't know why all this truck stuff is happening right now. I didn't really mean to. And people, my other half says, "Okay, what are you going to talk about tonight?" I said, "I don't know." That's my pat answer every day, and it's just something that see what comes up comes up. But he's bashed two kids together. Any response to this?
A double ring. Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Everybody's doing offers of what to call it. But this is very interesting, nonetheless. Oh, there's more pictures. Oh, go away, Storm. Okay.
That could work.
That could work.
Just made a collar that goes in between the two.
Right.
One mounted upside down.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the offset of those pillars. They're offset from each other.
Which would make sense.
I don't know, but that's quite a. This is actually a very big kit. It's pretty large. I think it's 18 inches in diameter. It's a pretty big kit now that he's doubled it. You know what? I'm going to take my chances because, after all, Newfoundland. See, this is this American English accent that I have. He's in Newfoundland. Oh, I think he's in Nova Scotia. There you go. Now I got an invite to him. Everybody's so quiet. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Everything's all quiet. I get up to handle a family problem, and nobody talks. Come on.
We're all deep in thought.
Deep in thought.
Yes.
When I'm deep in thought, I'm lost in unfamiliar territory.
I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Hope the rabbit doesn't die.
I was searching the internet for the correct colors for an AC Delco battery in 1986 or 19.
You see, I say something, everyone wants to talk at the same time. You were saying, Dave?
Are you going to have are you planning on installing a cloaking device on your bird of prey?
It's funny you should say that because, I can take a picture of my diorama with the fishing trawler in the water, and that would be about it. Here's my build. The bird of prey. It's a cloaking device. Yeah.
AMT, when they first brought that kit out, I don't know what the new instructions are like. I can't remember, but the original instructions had it showed you which way you could have the wings. You could have it either in cruise mode, attack mode, and then at the bottom they just had a picture of the stand, and it said stealth cloaked. That was one of the few incidents of a sense of humor in kit plans.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, yeah, it is AMT, so you need a bit of a sense of humor. Like, but there you go.
I haven't seen Bill Tate post anything in a while. Maybe I'm just not paying attention close enough. He does a lot of figures. This is a GK figure. I think it is anime. Very interesting. That if it's plastic, it's awful thin plastic for the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Probably resin.
Resin?
Yeah. Say hi, is it Ann?
Look at look at rat. What's the? Oh, this is a family problem you were having.
Yeah, one of the rats is not doing real well. This one's doing fine. As you can see, he's fat. he is fat. Look at the size of this
Weighs a
sucker.
couple pounds. Huh? Yeah, he's a big one.
Yeah,
he's a big one. Just hope he doesn't go feral.
Oh, shit.
No,
Could I go and get our cat and introduce them? No.
he's one of the most. This little guy is one of the most friendly animals I've ever had. So, aren't you? Don't disappoint me. He comes running when we call his name. You know, they're very intelligent. He uses the computer sometimes.
Oh.
Caught him embezzling.
Probably looking up.
No,
Did you say you found your rat on the computer sometimes?
Yeah, I think he's embezzling from me because, you know, there's like $1,000 missing out of the account and a whole bunch of rat toys showed up. So
he is a rat, yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Embezzlement. There you go.
Down here, something. I built this. This was my project. I built this week. So
I'm impressed.
very lifelike.
Yeah.
I like the fruit.
I made chocolate chip cookies.
Jack, you were talking about the hair on that figure. It's probably a resin kit, and if it is, that hair is just thin resin. It's very delicate. I've got several kits. I've got several kits like that, and they're, you know, sometimes the hair is so fine that it breaks, and you have to fix it with epoxy or something, epoxy putty or something like that. But they're fun to build, but my God, they can be really delicate sometimes.
Yeah, let me just clear out a few things here so I can. This is what you were talking about. I knew there was a picture that you posted, Randall, of your window.
Uh-huh.
I just finally dropped out. This is a window that you put a styrene piece across and then use the clear thing.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm waving at the screen because none of you guys can see what I'm pointing at. I was putting in the windows. I put that side was successful, but then the other one I put in, and inevitably it slipped off the tweezers and disappeared inside the thing, or fell out, and the part-eating carpet monster got it. But,
okay, carpet monster got it. So it's not a child's toy. It doesn't turn into a rattle. You know, you've achieved a lot when you build a model and it also doubles as a rattle.
I have one or two models like that, yeah.
There's that styrene. Look at that.
That's it, yeah. So, yeah, there's my seat. Before painting.
I like next to the CD.
Yeah, I use that. I use a CD an old CD as a cutting mat for photo. It has just the right amount of give.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. You should post that as a technique.
As a tip, yeah, I suppose I should.
Yeah.
It has just the right amount of give, and on one side you can cut your photo etch out on it, and the other side you can have a puddle of super glue to to stick the rest of the fret to, if you're not careful.
Yeah, there's a channel on YouTube called Slow Mo Guys. They're from the UK, and they have a high-speed camera and they take pictures of things, and they spun smithereens, and to see a CD fly apart is amazing.
Yeah.
Because at some point, I'm not sure if it's vibration or just because of the speed, the CD starts to get wavy, and then of course it obliterates into a million pieces. So basically, with me saying this is that you're saying it has the right amount of give to something. Now, what is the CD on that when you're using it?
It's just sitting on the bench or the cutting mat or a bit of wood or
a relatively solid surface then.
Yep. And
no, what gives? Yeah.
It used to be a recordable DVD, but its recording days are done whenever you have big puddles of congealed super glue on it.
Yeah, that's information that's lost forever.
And multiple scratches from the scalpel blade.
Yeah.
I guess that's never going to be right again.
I can actually cut very close to the part in such a way that there's actually practically nothing that has to be sanded off. You know, you get a wee nubbin of the sprue attachment, for the want of a better word, and that you have to file off. But most of the time, I can get it cut pretty close to the part without any distortions.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't have anything quite that similar, but I do use. I have a piece of ceramic tile if I'm doing the soldering of the LEDs for this. And I basically tape the LED down and with a piece of masking tape so it don't move, and I use it to solder on. And on the floor, right next to me here, is a larger tile that has my little. Boy, I can't really see it, can you?
No.
There it is.
Yeah.
I have my solder iron, my heat gun, and I put everything on it. I don't put my solder iron on the workbench anymore ever since it fell into my lap one time. I'm like, ooh, this could be pretty dangerous.
When did you notice it had landed on your lap? Like when the smoke started coming up around your ears? Or?
Yeah. It didn't land on anything flammable or important, just my lap. So you're right. Even my Dremel tool is on the floor too. But I found this very handy. I don't have to worry, make ample space on my workbench so I don't bump it or do something with it that will cause a hazard. This is perfectly fine. This works for me very well. So I use ceramic tiles to do this, and I even cut photo etch on it. Photo etch, because there you don't want to have a give. What's that?
You take and put some masking tape down with a sticky side up on your ceramic, spread down on it. Then you're less likely for your part to fly off into space when you try to cut it. That's
true. That's absolutely true. But you don't with the photo etch. You don't want any give. In fact, some people use a small piece of plate glass.
Yeah.
I don't know about plate glass would be the one that's heat treated that is difficult to break. But picture frame glass could work, but it could be very fragile at the same time. But the ceramic has a little bit of a texture, but not enough to be a problem with photo etch.
If the glass is
I
sitting
have,
on the surface, it's not going to give underneath it. So if it's sitting on a non-flexible surface, it should be okay. I think with you'd have to be leaning pretty hard with a scalpel blade to break the glass if it's sitting stable. So, excuse me.
well, boy, this has been an hour. It's just before it's going to be an hour, a few minutes. Well, we just murdered another hour, guys. We should.
I can't wait till Friday.
We all should be arrested and put in jail for murder. As long as they got model kits in jail, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think in the jails these days they will let you have model kits because it's better that than trying to kill each other.
This is true. So, I want to bring up a poll that I conducted. I had my other half make the logo, the colorful logo, into black and white to make this, because when you said silkscreen,
yeah,
I got interested. And I know you've already done it, and when I get mine done, we're going to trade, you and I.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to trade, and I will have them for sale for the community. The poll was very interesting, I have to say. I had two. Well, I put 3 choices, no being one of them. There were 2 people out of 31 votes that said no, they wouldn't care to buy a T-shirt, which kind of like I feel going to Macy's and buying a Coca-Cola T-shirt. I think that will be the same feeling, I would assume. But this is your community here. This is not Coca-Cola. I'm not a big corporate entity because I had 2 yeses, just a plain yes and a yes, but depends on cost. Would you believe people pay anything for a T-shirt? Some ideas. Not to say that I will gouge you, to say that I plan on having a series of T-shirts, and hopefully with each generation they get more and more sophisticated, and once I find someone who does a really nice color silkscreen, I don't want to do cafe press, because cafe press, if you've ever been to the website, it's confusing as all get-go. What's even more difficult with them is they make these iron-on patches. So if you have something rather large in the summer, you sweat nicely behind them. And I don't want that. To me, that's pretty cheap. It's pretty, well, and they're not cheap. They're expensive. They're like $35 for a T-shirt, and that could get a little pricey. But as things go along, and if I build up a little bit of profit to do these things, I'll just give it back to you guys in something a little more sophisticated as we go along. So as far as, I'm going to be writing an email this coming week to someone in the local area that can probably do these T-shirts pretty quick and pretty cheap. She does a lot of baseball, Little League baseball teams and, school bands and firehouses and things like this. So she's not really into an enormous amount of quantities, and she does good pricing for us in the office too. So we'll see what she has for me. So yeah, I hope to have these rolled out soon. Maybe not so much during the 48-hour hangout, but soon. And I hope you guys watching, if you enjoyed this hangout and want to see the other hangouts of the past, some of which are pretty amusing, some of which are pretty informative. It just depends on what we feel like during what we do this. We aim not to offend. Maybe we should. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I offended somebody last time, for bringing up the election, and it hasn't happened yet. But I didn't really get into any details, but I thought I offended someone. But, well, so what? I don't care if you're offended, because we really didn't say anything. Anyway, we're still here, and we're always going to be here. We're not going to have our rights stripped from us. We'll still, as long as Google allows us to do this, we'll do this.
Yeah.
But if you want to go see the past, we aim to.
We aim not to offend, but sometimes we miss.
Well, something. Yeah. Well, anyway, just go to my Google. YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, lots of words. Go to my YouTube channel, Scratch and Jack, subscribe, and check out the ones like this. Ask a question. And if you don't like it, that just shows you the person that you are, because just the last show I got 2 thumbs down. That's the kind of person you are. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Yes, meet us in a couple of weeks for the Across the Pond on Saturday, and another day after will be the Sunday Hangout. And join us this coming Black Friday for the 48-hour Hangout. I will post everything on the community. Go to Google+, Amazing Scale Mars. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'd like to thank Bob for stopping by, which is kind of odd. He's usually on the Across the Pond Hangout. But it was good to see that you're, like, awake. And thank you, David, for stopping by, too. And I'll be looking forward to hanging out with you 48 hours and see what kind of person you really are, because you're so polite right now. And Jay, same thing. See you soon, and thank you. And Randall, see you soon, too. Thank you very much. And Jim, if you're watching this, sorry that you had to go to your sister's and have dinner. I'm sure she's a good cook. That's why you went. And I'll see you later, too. Heath, I missed you. And all the others who usually are hanging out with me, miss you too. See ya in 2 weeks.
Bye.